got this lump in my throat of emotion. I just shot a very emotional video to someone very special that I wanted to share my feelings and appreciation and love towards. But I'm not ready to share that yet. I'll post that video at some point. I did that video for me, really, because I could feel the emotions building and just missing that person, missing that soul, and it felt good to express it and document it. And honestly, I do these videos for myself. I get a lot from these videos. They help me translate the blocks of thought and energy that's going on all the time in my body. And the fact that there's anybody who wants to listen and wants to share this moment is just wonderful. It's a beautiful thing. But I'm doing these videos anyway, whether no one listens or not. I'm doing this for me. I like documenting my evolution. And I also like the feeling of resolution when I express these frequencies. So thank you if you're listening. So on a personal note, yeah, it's been emotional. I feel like there's been huge waves of emotional energy in the last few days. It ties in beautifully with the astrological energies, which there's a lot of Pisces energy right now. We've got, is it a new moon, a full moon coming up in Pisces? So Pisces is quite dreamy and emotional and sensual, and I'm feeling those energies big time. The emotions I'm feeling they're not good or bad, you know. I do like that there's a neutral baseline to it. At the same time, I feel, and you may be feeling this too, that you can dip. You could, like in that neutral zone, you could dip into a more of a sadness. There's moments I feel waves of sadness, and then there's other times I'm feeling waves of great appreciation and elation and just love, you know. But the wonderful thing is, in the mix of emotions between, you know, the dipping into the sadness, there's love there, and even in the more sense of gratitude, there's love there. So I feel like overall there's an incredible bubble of love bubbling beneath the surface in all of us right now, which is really lovely, and I really love that. I did say in one of the recent videos about a build up to an event where there would be this crescendo of energy, and then there would be a dip, there would be a come down from that, there would be a relief, a diffusing of that. You can see that's in one of the February energy forecast videos. And I definitely had that happen. You know, I forget sometimes when I'm just downloading and sharing the downloads that this is a forecast for me too, you know. And then I'm often surprised when the forecast plays out in my own life, and I think it's kind of funny. Because I think, oh yeah, I actually remember saying that in a video a couple of weeks ago. So that's kind of cool. I feel there's this lovely desire for grounding after this diffusion, this relief from the build-up of those intense solar codes, solar frequencies that were coming in. And there's now this desire for a balancing back out and a desire to clean up any wobbles in our vibration so that we can go back into that wonderful neutral space again, preparing us for the move into the next season of spring and into March and April. I do feel that a lot of the ascension symptoms we had, which felt like a reigniting of similar feelings from 2012, that massive earth shift that, you know, most of us remember too well. It was a very, very crazy time. There was some of those familiar feelings from that time rejigged in January and February. And the difference now is that we understand the process now. We know it's ascension. We know that it's a mass awakening. We also know that we are calibrating these energies on behalf of the collective consciousness, which is wonderful. So when you clear a fear in your energy field, you add that healing to the collective consciousness. So it's not just about you. It's not just about your personal individual healing. You're actually adding a new healthy blueprint to the collective consciousness, and that's really important. And it's good for you to recognize that work in yourself and in others, and to commend yourself and others for contributing, for that contribution to humanity and to Gaia. I'm seeing so many more people having awake discussions. You may have noticed this yourself as well. So many more people engaging in high conscious conversation, and also knowing when to pull out and escape the very low density gossipy conversation, which just does nobody any good. In my life skills class, I often talk about time wasting and time management. And we do a list on the flip chart of the things that can really waste our life energy, our chi. And gossip is probably one of the lowest vibrational things we can engage in. As is many other things, but gossip and, you know, drama conversations where a person is hooked into your energy and feeding you all this drama and wanting a dramatic response. Be aware of that, because that's very ego driven. When there is this obsession with getting attention from a very egotistical place, it's important that we play our high conscious part in that, and we don't engage with that exchange, because it requires an exchange. You don't have to have that exchange. You can just hold the space for somebody. When their ego is screaming at you saying, give me this dramatic reaction, you don't have to play that game. You can witness their pain, witness what they're doing to their energy, and simply hold a space for them. And you can either be a mirror and reflect it back by just being still and letting them actually see their own reflection, where they can go, whoa, what am I doing? I'm unconscious right now. Or you can lovingly hold a space or walk away, sending them love. That's very powerful too. But it is important that we allow people to find their own standing in their lives. Allow people to have their own sense of purpose and to find that for themselves. Because the truth is, you can't find it for them anyway, because you're not their soul. You don't have their soul blueprints. You're not walking the path in their shoes on their life path. They have to figure that out for themselves. And like I was saying today in my job to a client, your friend who, you know, is exhausting you, you're actually not doing them any favor if you keep catching their fall every time. Because like the child who's learning to walk and learning to run, the good parent will hold a space, support, cheer, love that child through the process, but won't keep going and stopping the child from falling. If you keep catching the child from falling, the child will never learn to walk. They'll never learn to use their muscles, use their knees, use their ankles, use their toes to stand up and to take those confident steps. Confidence grows from doing, from practice, from mistakes, from failure. It's all part of building confidence. So the good parent will hold a space and love the child, but allows for mistakes. Don't be afraid to watch your loved ones make mistakes. Celebrate their mistakes. Mistakes are a chance to begin again with more knowledge, with more experience, with more understanding. And also celebrate your own mistakes. See them as markers along the path, the map of your life, and celebrate each mark on the map as a growth spurt. It's when we look back on the map, we can see this beautiful design. We see this gorgeous pattern, this lovely flowing tapestry that actually brought us to our joy. You see, the universe wants you to find your joy. It supports you in your joy. It supports your well-being. You wake up every day, the sun rises. You don't have to get out there with a ball and chain and pull the sun up. No. It rises on your behalf. The air is there for you to breathe. Gaia, nature, provides us with food and means of providing shelter. But we have to use these resources in their natural state and respect them. And then we get more and more. So it's important to acknowledge that and to know that well-being is natural and it is part of what life has in store for you. Pain is a part of life, but suffering is optional. Suffering is a way of viewing the pain in a certain way. Pain is natural. It is a part of life. But we can choose how we process and integrate that pain. And this is speaking from someone who has pain most days. I know a lot about pain, and I feel like that's why I'm a really good calibrator, or you might want to call me a healer or a shaman. I know pain. And I also know how to not confuse suffering and pain together, because they are not one and the same thing. They're not. So think about that, because suffering is a choice. It's a perspective. If you are suffering, acknowledge that, explore it, and then find somebody or in yourself, learn how to see the pain, feel the pain without attaching the suffering story to it, because suffering usually comes with a story. And we all love our stories. We feel like our stories defend us and explain who we are, and we feel like our story is the fabric of who we are, but it's not. It's just a story. The true fabric of who you are is so much more intrinsic and profound than that. It's good to know your story. I think it's there's a time and a place for your story, but I also feel that we are encouraged to grow long nails embedded into the ball of our stories far too much. You don't have to be attached to your story. And I believe mastery of energy of this soul experience involves a detaching from the story. But you will know when you're ready to let go of that identity, of that defending and explaining and trying to gain that understanding from people or validation. You reach a certain point in your evolution where you just give that up because you see no use, no benefit in it for you or others. You don't need them to understand because you understand yourself. You don't need them to love you through that pain because you honor and love yourself in every moment, regardless of what is happening. That's what we're all reaching for, whether we're aware of it or not. Subconsciously, that's where the soul is headed. Some people take the long road, some people take the short road. The choice is yours. I think I'll leave it there. The daffodils are coming up. I saw crocuses, snowdrops. It's wonderful. Like I said, a lot of emotions. It's an overwhelming energy right now. And that's okay. Much love to you.